Hello everyone, welcome back to CodeGoat. And in this part, we are going to finish what we started. And we started in the part 7 that how we are going to set up our database for our fast API application so that our database can connect to the application in the asynchronous way, which is for the fast API is famous for. So without any delay, let's start. So in this part, till now we have completed the initiation of this scalable project structure. Then we also understood how to create the SQL model and why to create the SQL model. After that, we created the core of this particular API, and this core include the asynchronous operation initiation. But it's not all the thing which is required for the asynchronous operation. So before going further in all those topics which we are going to cover in this part 7b, that is this async session dependency, this asynchronous CRUD operations, this migration with Alembic, we are going to understand the flow. So let's understand this flow once. So for that, let's take here what are the things which we have covered till now and what is the flow which actually this application need. Not this application, for most of the fast API application, whenever you are going to set up your database, this particular kind of flow you have to establish with your framework. So what is that flow? The first thing is we need to create the models which we completed. Then after creating these SQL models which are representing the database table, then we have to create the core. What that core will contain? That core will contain something which is called config. This config will provide the environmental variables which will be used in your application. And those are this database URL, your env file, and also there is one main part in this code, that is db.py. Why this db.py is so important? This db.py will contain, first of all, it will generate your sessions. The sessions will be used by your API to complete the request, and also it will give me this sessions. Two things it will do. The first thing what it will do is, first of all, it will create the pool of sessions. The second thing it will do, it will configure those sessions with your database. And the third thing is, it will provide me something which is called a method, and this method will be used in your CRUD operations. So in this way, this core part will be there in all of your framework. After working on core, let's talk about this CRUD. This CRUD is this create, read, update, delete. But this CRUD will also have so many parts. So let's say you have these 4 tables in your models.py. That is one for product, one for user, one for category, and one for review. Let's treat them all as a separate apps, so that your application will work as a independent from each of these services. That how we are going to do that? We are going to create the CRUD operation in a way so that this CRUD will not be integrated in your API. It will be called by your API. So we are going to create the methods for get data from your DB, update data, and delete data. So these are the operation which we will do as a method, and these all things will be called inside your API. We are not going to call these all action, or we are not going to develop the functionality to do these action inside your API. First, we will create this functionality, and then we will call these functionality inside your API. So these CRUD will be created for all of your apps. as I mentioned, we are going to use this user, this review, and this product, etc. These all things will be created as a separate CRUD, and these all will have its own API.py for review, for user, for product, and for category. So this is the way in which we are making our particular framework more scalable. So whenever a new functionality comes into the picture, all you have to do is you have to create more files, more new files, and in those new files you need to develop those functionality. You do not need to touch the existing functionality. In this way, your code will be intact, whatever is working till now. After doing the CRUD operation, after developing the API, now the last part which will come into the picture is for the Alembic. This Alembic is the one which will pull your models.py, and it will fix those models.py inside your database, your actual database. After performing this Alembic operation, now you are good to go with the main.py. This main.py will contain the FastAPI server, FastAPI server object, and also whatever the CRUD operation we have created for all of our applications or for all of our apps, we will call those all inside the main. So whenever one application or one app goes down, other will work. And these things will be done in like this is the complete flow which we should follow for most of our projects. So now let's come to our coding part, and we are going to define everything one by one so that we can work with our framework for other functionalities for UI and for later part of series. So let me close this. I really want to quit, and let's start our coding. So just let me give you a recap for whatever we have did till now, or whatever we have done till now. So we created the models. Inside the models, we have the models.py where we have created the 4 models: user, category, product, review. After that, we went to the core. Inside the core, we created the config.py where we have defined the database URL, and we also declared that there will be this one.env file from where you have to pick the sensitive information. That .env file will not be pushed into your Git repository or whatever the repository system you are using. This env system will be for development purpose. It might be for your dev, for your prod, for your UAT, and I will tell you the secure way in the last part when we are going to deploy this application using Docker. So coming to this db.py, till now what we did is we created the session maker. From this engine, we created the pool of session, and using this engine, what we did is we configured our session so that our APIs can use those session directly. Now it's time to create the get session method, which will be used as a method injection. If you remember the earlier part where we learned about the injection part, in which at the parameter section we were calling the method in place of calling that method inside the method in which we are calling that. So let's start, and one by one we will see what I'm trying to say here. So what I will do is async def get session. Inside this get session, okay, there's nothing required right now, and let's say this async with async session factory as session as session as session. We are going to put this try, this except, exception, and the final, and the finally. Okay, So I will tell you why I'm doing this try, except, and finally. So in the try, what I will do is I will just simply yield the session. I will just simply yield the session. Okay. And await session dot commit. Okay, this let's come to the exception. Then again await this session dot rollback. Coming to the finally, this await session dot close. So we created one method as a get session. What we are doing here is from the async session factory. Just remember, what we are doing here is we are using this async with the await. So what this async and await will do is whenever this particular method is busy with the one request, it will open the other communication channel as well, so that if user is going to uh, run this particular part again, this method will be available for that particular request. It will not hold back that request in a queue. It will process the initial one and it will use the other one as well. So in this way, whatever the request user will send to this method, it will process them, you can say parallelly, or whenever that particular request will come to this method. Okay, so here we have this try, except, and finally. So whenever we are putting this try and except, so let's say something goes wrong when you are creating your session. Something was not right, or while doing the commit, you got some error. The field which is coming to your database, or the data which is coming from your database, there is something went wrong in between the process. So what will happen is it will do the rollback. It will just remove all the ongoing process and it will go back to zero. And this finally, let's say you have created your session, then it means you have to close your session also after every request and response cycle. So this is the thing which is required in your db.py under the config. So we have created this db.py successfully. Now let's come to the part of CRUD. So what I will do here is I will come to the bash. I will see, okay. What I will do is mkdir CRUD. I have this CRUD and mkdir API. Why I created this CRUD and API? As I told you, we need to create this CRUD functionality separately from the APIs, so that APIs can call those CRUD in place of integrating them inside the API. Because if something goes wrong with that data, then it can create issue with your application, and it is not a modular approach. So here we have the CRUD and here we have the API. So let's create something for the CRUD. Okay, here is the CRUD. Let's create one file in the CRUD. CRUD cd CRUD and touch CRUD underscore product product.py. Let's create all the files which is required for this particular application. User.py, CRUD underscore category.py and CRUD underscore review.py. Okay, so I have these 4 files, and coming inside the API, let's clear the terminal. What I will do is I will go inside the API and I'll do the same here. API, let's not use this prefix, and one for the product as well. There is one more thing which we need to understand, that whenever you are going to develop your API, you are not going to take all of your data, or you are not going to send all of the data which is coming directly from your table. So you need some filter in between that your data table and your API can restrict the keys which is not required for that particular API or which is not useful. You are not going whenever you are working with the user database, it is not required, and it is compulsory that you should not expose the password field for all the API's transaction. All you need is the user data or something related to that other fields. So how we are going to do that? We are going to create one session.py. That session.py will not session.py. We can use other name as well. Schema.py. We can use the schema.py. That schema.py will provide the schema for those APIs. See, this schema is totally different from that pydantic base model. We are going to create a schema with the SQL model as well. But this time, this schema will stand between your database and your API. So let's create that as well, and then we will put some code inside of all of our file. So let's create new file. Okay, come back a bit here. Okay, and touch this. What was the name? This schema. Okay, it's schema.py. Okay, so first of all, inside the CRUD, I have this db.py, I have this config.py, and let's create product.py. Product. Okay, let's go with the product as well. First of all, we are going to create the CRUD operation for the product. So what we will need is, we are gonna need this typing. From typing, import list from SQL. Okay, from SQL model, import select. See, this CRUD file is basically, you are creating your SQL queries, this syntax like this select star something something into the Python object. So we are developing that SQL queries in the Python way. Okay, so here I have this, then this again from SQL model dot ext dot async io dot session import async session. Okay, I have this. Now let's talk about the models. From model dot models import product. This is the product. Okay, we need to create some schemas as well right now. So let's create few schema. Okay, so what I'm gonna need is this class for the product, create, and what I need is the product base. Okay, product create. First of all, let's create the product base class, product base. It will call the SQLModel. Okay, let me import that class from list optional from SQLModel import SQLModel. So this is the filter which we are creating right now. I will explain you one by one whatever the things we are doing here is. So this product base will contain let me open the models as well. So where is our models.py? So this model contain the ID, name, description, and this category and review is the relationship. So what we are going to need these three fields. Okay, so what I will do here is this name, where's the model, name, description. Okay, name and description. Okay, this name and description. Name will be str, description will be str, and every product will have its own price. This price will be float. Did we create the price here? No, we didn't create. So let's create the price as well. Let's create the price with the float. Every product will have price. So this is a required field. Let's save it and come back to the schema. Okay, so what we are going to use is we are going to use this product base. See, in this particular models.py, we did the tables equals to true. It means we were asking our Python interpreter to create a table inside the database. But here we are not asking it to create the table. Here we are asking it to use this table as between the as a medium between the actual database and your API. So here I have the product base, and inside the product base, this category ID, this category ID. This category ID will be int. Okay, and then we will create this class product public. Again, this product base. What I am doing here is I will create these all things for a one class. What I want from you is you need to create the classes and all the fields for the other classes as well, so that you can learn that whatever the things which we are doing here is able to work or not. Anyhow, I'm going to push this code, the complete code, not for the this one which I'm showing you here. I will push the complete code into the Git repository, which will be the public repository, and you can check your code or your development, or you can compare that from that file. I will put that link inside the description. So please follow that if you are getting any doubt or if you want the copy of this code. So let's create this public, and inside this public, ID will be the int, and this ID category will be the category public. Okay, I need to create the category as well. Okay, let's copy these two here. Class category base SQLModel class user base SQLModel class review base SQLModel. So for now, what I will do is I will just write the pass, so that I can call these classes wherever I need it. So category create, it will use the base class, and after this, and the same thing will go here for the user, for the review, and now I need this category create here. Okay, category create, sorry, category public. I need the category public. I will tell you why we need all these things. So let's create the category public as well. Category public. Category public, and this will come here. this category public, and again we're gonna need this review, and inside the review we are gonna need the review public. Review public. Inside the review base will come here, and it will go like this category base, this category create. Okay, so let me check with the models. Okay, so the review was the list of reviews, so I need to do the same here as well. This list, this review public, and also it, let's say default it's empty. So for the product base, what we did is we use three fields. These three fields, these are coming from the product table. Okay, this name, description, and price. Coming back to the schema, this product create. So whenever a product will be created, so whenever a product will be created, it will be created inside some category. So that will be used in the category ID. So it gonna need this category ID. After that, this product public, when you are showing your product into the application, see, these all things are logical. Whenever you are showing your product into the public page or in your application, what you're gonna need is to retrieve everything about the product. You need its ID, where the category belongs, or what category this product belongs. Then after that, this review, whatever the review which is there for this particular product, it will comes as a list if there is any product review. So we have created the schema. Now we are going to use this schema for the CRUD operation. Okay, so let's create the CRUD operation here. Okay, so I have this product, and from schema import product base. So what we will do is async def create product. Let's define our product name first, then we will do all the things. This product data which we will get from the API, it will be of type product. Okay, sorry, product base, it will be product create. This will be of product create whenever we are creating a product, and also this session will be async session, and it will return the type product. Okay, so whenever we are going to create, it will do this thing. Then we will do this db underscore product equals to product dot model underscore validate product data. So what we are doing here is, whenever we are going to create the product, first we will do is whether the product data which is coming have all the properties or not which this particular product table required, or those all the data is sufficient or not. Okay, so we validated that. Then session dot add db product, the session. Okay, we created the session. Then await session dot commit, await session dot refresh db product, and then return db underscore product. So what we did here is, again, this async and this await will provide you the functionality where this create product will be available even if it is processing one of your request. It will not let other request in the queue to wait for this particular one to complete. It will complete it and it will free the handle for the other requests as well. So here in this session.commit, it will do the action, and after this refresh, this a query will be issued to the database and all the attribute will be refreshed the current database value. It means like it will check whether all the database is reflecting there. So we are going to return it, and then again we are going to create few more operation. This def get all products. Inside this product, this session, it will be async session, and it will return the list of product object. It will return the list of product object. There will be another method as well, this async def get product by ID. So what we are doing is we are creating product, we are fetching product, and also we are fetching product by single ID as well. By ID, then here that will be this product ID equals to it will be of type int, and this session will be of type async session. Okay, and again after closing it, what it will return is the product where object, or it might be none as well. It might be possible that whatever the ID we are querying is not available inside the table. So let's develop the functionality inside these method, and what we will do is it is very simple. This statement, what happened here, this statement equals to select product, and after this it will be the result await session dot exec statement, and after this return result dot all. So it's a simple select star query which we have wrote here. Now coming back to this another method which we need to complete. Again, this will be like this, but this time it will be with the ID. So what we are going to do is select product dot where, and inside the where we are going to write this product dot ID equals to product, this product ID. I guess you can see from this particular part, this select star from product where product ID equals to this. Okay, so here's the statement, return. Okay, this will not use the all, return dot one or none. I guess it is also understandable with the syntax that this result dot one or none means if there is any record with this particular ID, then return the one. Actually, if there is a one product ID, then the product table should contain only one row. So that will return the one row, or if nothing is there, then none. Okay, so we created successfully this CRUD operation for the product. Now let's come to the API. So here is the API, and we will go to the products.api. Okay, so let's start this products.api. So what we are going to need is from typing import list, and from FastAPI import router, API router. API router, comma depends, comma HTTP exception, comma status. These all things are required for the APIs. Then from SQL model dot ext dot asyncio dot session import async session from core db from core.db import get session. So this is for what we created the get session, and we are gonna use this get session in a very good way. From CRUD import CRUD import CRUD product, and from schema import product create and product public. Okay, so I guess we called all the things which are related to the product, and now we can create, first of all, what we are going to create is the router. Router equals to API router. So what is this API router? This API router will initiate the API path for this particular product. Let me explain you. This particular router will be initiated. It will create the object for this particular product, and this router will be called inside your main.py separately. So as like the products.py, when we are going to users.py, that user will again contains the router, this API router. For the category, that category will also contain the router equals to API router, and for the review, that review will also contain the router equals to API router. So in this way, we are going to create the separate instances for all of our API path, and also it will give me functionality. So whenever I'm going to create the API in this particular file, and if I use dot post, and after the post, uh, what we provide is like this products, and this whatever the syntax, something like XYZ. So this was the syntax earlier when we were creating the API path, but when we are creating using the router, we don't need to add the products. All we need to write is this XYZ. It will automatically create the prefix product for this XYZ. So in this way, you do not have to write this product all the time. And when you are going to access your APIs, by default, you have to use this product, this user, this category, this review, whenever you are going to use those API. So let's test it. Not test it, let's develop it first. So okay, so what I will do here is I will use this router dot post. I will create the post request. Inside the post, what I will do, I will just provide the slash here, and after the slash, okay, let's create the status code equals to status dot http 202 create 201 created, and it will have this response model equals to product public. Okay, let me put it in some readable way, and here it is closed. Fine. So now let's create the async def create new product. Inside the create new product, what I'm gonna need is product data. Product data will be of type. This product data will be of type product create, and this session will be of type async session that equals to depends on get session. Okay, so we have wrote a very big line here. What is this line? Okay, I just do not like these red color. So Control Shift insert. Where is that? Insert, 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 insert. So what we have here is while creating this new product, we have to give some response. We have some status with it and with the post request. And inside the post request, when we are creating something, the status code should be 201 if it is successful. And the response model, the data which it should return, it should be equals to the, where is my schema, this product public. What it will do whenever you are going to create new product, in the success body, it will show the product ID, it will show the category, and it will show the review. Okay. Okay, so I have here this and this. Let's create this new product. This new product equals to await CRUD product dot create product, and inside the create product, this product data equals to product data, and session equals to session. Fine. So here we have, let me just narrow it down. Okay, so here what we have is we created one create new product. We create the post API for this particular product. We use the injection. We use the dependency injection, which we learned earlier, that how that dependency injection work, and we use the same method to create the get session object into the session. This session is of type this async session. It is true because the get session will return the object which will be of type async session, and it is the type hint functionality where we need to provide the type of that particular object. So this async session is the type of this particular session variable, and this session will get the object from the get session. This get session will provide as a configured session to this method, and using this CRUD operation, we are running the create SQL query through the Python. So this is the complete process which we are following in the post request. Okay, so we created one for the post, but also we created the CRUD operation for get request as well. So we are going to create the CRUD operation for get too. So let's add that thing again. This router dot get, and inside the get again we will use the slash sign, and after the slash come inside the response model equals to list of public product public. Okay, I have this router dot get. Fine. Then async dot def and get all product list, because in the CRUD operation we are returning this as all, so it will come as a list. It should come as a list to us so that we can render it into our UI. So let's come back to this. We have created the method. Inside the method, let's provide the parameter. This session will be of async session, and it will be depends on get session. Okay, so we have all the things here. Now let's, because in the get request we are getting all of the data, so there is no more query parameters here. So let's take out all the product products equals to await CRUD product dot get all products, and inside this session equals to session. Okay, let us see. Okay, it need only the session as your parameter. So we have defined the session, only the session here, and what we are going to do is return products. So we created our get API as well. Now let's create one more get API in which we are fetching out a product by its ID. So here is, let's again this router dot get. Again, this time we need product ID as our input. So we are gonna need this query parameter as well. So what is this query parameter? This product underscore ID response model will be the product public. Okay, this product public. Let's create the async method. Async. Again, I'm telling you this async and this await, it combinedly provide us the functionality to use this method without any wait. Even if there is any request running, it will run your next query. So this async def get product details. This product details is gonna need some product ID. This product ID will be of int, and again the session. Let's check with the CRUD operation. This CRUD operation gonna need this product ID and session. So in the products API, we are going to use the same parameter here as well. So this will be of type async session, which will be equals to depends. Inside the depends get session. So if you are still confused regarding this dependency injection of this get session, so I will recommend you to go to my earlier parts where I described very clearly like how this depends work, how this dependency injection works. So here I will create this product equals to await CRUD product. Oh, sorry, I wrote create CRUD underscore products dot get product by ID, and inside that product ID equals to product ID and session equals to session. So I wrote this query, and if not product, let's say there is nothing there. If not product, if product is none, it means if not will be true. If then raise the error, then raise this HTTP exception. Inside the HTTP exception, status code will be status dot 404. Status dot 404. Where is this HTTP? HTTP underscore 404 not found, and detail will be product with ID. Okay, let me add F here. F product with ID. Product ID not available. Okay, so I have all the things in the exceptions as well. And again, if everything is fine, then return the product. So we created successfully, okay, the product. So we created successfully this CRUD operation for your product, in which we need some filter. That filter is provided by the schema. We need the session, we created in that inside the DB. Then we created the API inside the product.py. There is one more thing which we should understand, that all the things which we are exposing, it should be secure. So there should be some kind of security as well. That security is for your password. Like whenever you are using that password or storing that password, that should be in a hashed value. So inside core, let's create one more file, cd core, and inside core, let's create one more file that will be called security.py. Security.py. Okay, let's come inside the security.py, and what we will do is we will specify the schema that we will specify the schema for the password to get password and verify password. Okay, so how it will be done? Let's say this from pos. Okay, I think poslib I do not have. I need to install it. So let's install it. How to install it? Let me check this pip install paslib. Okay, so let's come back here and do this pip install paslib. Is it not env activated? Okay, let me check here. Okay, from paslib. Okay, now it's fine. From paslib dot context. Oh, why? From paslib dot context, import crypt context, and password context equals to crypt context. Schema will be by crypt, bcrypt. Okay, bcrypt. This bcrypt and d d mm, deprecate, and deprecate should be deprecate equals to auto. Deprecate equals to auto. I will explain like why we are doing this security.py, why it is required, and I will explain each of its step. So here I will have this get password underscore hash password. It will be of type string, which we are taking right now, and it will return the string. So return pwd context dot hash your password. Okay, get password hash, then verify password. This get password hash and verify password will be used inside your user class, because there only we are creating the passwords. So let me create it. So I will explain that how it will be useful. Plain password str comma hashed password hashed password will be of str. It will return the bool and return password context dot verify plain password comma hash password. Okay, so we created this particular file and why it is required. So Let's say when inside our models, let me open that. Inside our models, if I go for the user, so here I took the password as a string. But when it comes to storing that password into your database, it is especially mandatory that you should not store that password in a same string manner. You should hash it. So for the security. So what we did here in the security file, let me go again. So get password hash, this particular method, what it will do whenever the user is going to create his profile or user is going to create her profile, then this will hash that particular string and this hash will be stored inside your database. After coming to this verify password, this method will be used when user is going to log in your application. So when user will provide that password into that field, this particular method will take that string and it will not going to encrypt or decrypt. It will just simply take its hash value, and with this method it do not need to reconvert that stored hash password into string. It will compare its property, it will compare using some internal mechanism, and by comparing them it will validate whether yes it is correct or not. So it is not going to decrypt the hash value of your password. It will just take that password from your database based on the user ID, and whatever the password user has provided from the input page, or sorry, from the login page, it will compare it with that and it will validate with the boolean value true or false. If true, then you can succeed, you can go inside the application. If false, then user is providing wrong credential. So this is the use of this security.py, which will be used with the user model. So till now, I have created the model, the CRUD operation, the APIs for this only product. But there is this review, this user and category. For now, I want you to understand this process and I want you to create the CRUD operation and API operation for this user, this review and category. Anyhow, I will update the complete code into the Git repository so you can verify your progress or what you are thinking while developing. So we have the CRUD, we have all the other things. Let's talk about the next operation. So we successfully created the async session dependency. We provided the asynchronous CRUD operation. Now let's come to the part of migrations with Alembic. This is the one which is going to give you your actual database schema. So what we are going to do here is, okay, let me now let's dive into the part of Alembic. As I told you, Alembic is the one which will do the work as a Git for your database and your schemas, your database schemas. So what's the command? It's a series of commands which we need to follow to migrate our Python code models into my database. So what are those commands? Those commands are, okay, Alembic, as we already installed all the required libraries in the previous part, so we can directly use Alembic command line. Alembic init -t async Alembic. Okay, it will initiate. Let's see what. Okay, so it created this alembic.ini, and let me do this ls-a. It created the, I think it should create the .env file as well. Where is .env file? ls alembic. Okay, this env.py is file inside the Alembic. Okay, so we have all the thing right now and we can go for our migration. But before going to migration, we should do few things first. Those are, let's go to the alembic.ini. Where is that file? Where is that file? Okay, here it is. So here all the things are fine. What we need to do is we need to find the URL of SQL Alchemy. Okay, let's go to my config and copy it, paste this thing here. As I'm working in my local host and it's my local port, so I need to add the port as well. Okay, so it will be this 5432, which is by default. It's a default port where I created my database. And if you want to verify from where you can get this port, then come here, go inside your database, this PostgreSQL, go to the properties and go into the connection, you will find the port. So you can, whatever the port, if you are developing local, you can find the port here, the host name, the local host, which I have provided here. And coming to this username I use here, and the password, whenever you are going to create your this particular, when you are setting up your PostgreSQL, there is a one password which it will ask to initiate your server. That password you have to provide here, and this is the syntax string which we need to follow. And this is the one, uh, let me close it. And this is the one FastAPI E-Com database which I have created that I wrote after the slash. So this is the complete string which we should follow, and we should save this in config.py as well. Let's put it here, and now it's fine. Okay, so we have updated this. Now comes to the second part, coming to this env.py of Alembic. What I have to do is from model.models import SQLModel. So when you create your SQL models inside your model.models, it will use its metadata. So how we are going to define that its metadata, that we can write after here, this target metadata. It is none right now, but it should not be none. What we have to do is the thing which we have imported, this metadata. Okay, so we have updated the target metadata as well. I didn't develop anything inside this alembic.ini. I just used the by default files which I get from the init, and I used those files to update my data. So right now all the things are set, and let's do the migration. Okay, so first what we will do is we will do the upgrade. Alembic upgrade head. Will it do anything? Okay, we'll assume transaction DDL. Now let's come to the part of Alembic revision up auto upgrade -m. What is my comment? Create initial user category product and review. Let's see. Okay, unrecognized auto. Okay, it's my error. It should be auto generate. It's not be auto upgrade. It should be auto generate. Okay, okay, it's done. Everything is done. Let's check our database as well. Okay, so this is my database, and what I will do is inside my database I will find this schema. Inside the schema, let's go to the table, table views. No, nothing is there. Why? It should come inside the tables. Let me refresh it. Okay, after refresh, okay, yes, I got all the tables here. So inside the table, it is the Alembic version. This is the version number, rule, indexes. I am missing something, so let's just run this update as head as well. So inside the version, it created the Python file, I guess. Okay, so after running the head command, it should create the table. Okay, SQL model is not defined. SQL model dot SQL types auto string nullable equals to true. Line number 26. So it is showing I'm missing something which I defined inside the code, but it is not available inside the models. So what I should do is, okay, let me close this one, let me close this one, let me close this one. Go inside the models.py. Where is models.py? Okay, inside the product, I have this category relation. What I need, what I gonna need is product should be a foreign key constant to the category ID. Okay, I am gonna need this category ID as well. Okay, that I will write here, this category ID, category ID, and okay, category ID, it should be the foreign key, so it will be equals to category ID. It will be of type int, and inside this it should be category dot ID. Okay, what I have wrote here, let me check the uh, API. Where is my API? Product.py. Okay, product ID equals to this, product ID equals to that. And what is my schemas.py? Here I use the category ID. Okay, fine. This category ID, it was missing. And also, okay, this category ID, it was missing here. Everything else is passed. So I think it should work now. So let's do this head operation again. Okay. Okay, SQL model is not defined. So what we will do, okay, that was the error one. So I will remove this and I will run the head command again. Okay, it created new file. Let's do the auto generate and do the head again. Okay, and the SQL model is not defined. Why? Go to this file, use this import SQL model. Let's try it again. Will it work? Okay, I guess it worked. Let's just check here. Okay, here we have, let's refresh it. Refresh. Okay, coming back, I got the 5 tables: category, product, review, and user. So I was able to successfully create the tables with few modification in my alembic.py. Just let me tell you, every time when you create a version, it will create the Python file. This Python file will contains the actual implementation what you have currently right now. So I might be somewhere wrong because I didn't code the complete project in the current setup. I need to check, I need to verify. When I'm going to update the complete code into the Git, it will be working fine. So all you have to follow is few commands using this uh, this Alembic init, then Alembic upgrade, and this Alembic auto generate. So in this way, and then again this Alembic update. In this way, what it will do, it will check your current implementation. It will update your Python file with few modification. Right now I did, and it was able to successfully migrate my tables here. So in this way, I can say right now my product or my application is connected to the database, and I can do the APIs as well. So the last part, let's create the main.py. Okay, so here I have, and let's create the main.py. Okay, I have the main.py. Uh, what I will do, I will just paste the already created app.py here, and so it will save us some time. And okay, this app, there should be this app. So here there's a main part where we add the router. Currently those files are empty. It will not run. It will throw the error. For this product only it will run, and it will not run for the others because those files are just empty files. So in this way, we created the separate route for each of the particular API or application, and this is we included into our main.py. So whenever we are going to run the FastAPI, the main server, it will execute all these things in a separate way. And in the final part, let's see what our project structure is looking. Okay, so let me come here and let me run this tree /f. Okay, so how it is looking right now, inside my project, I have this alembic.ini, this main.py, this requirement.txt. Inside this Alembic, I have this env.py, this script.py. Again, the APIs related to my category product review user. The core contains the config DB security. The CRUD operation contains all the CRUD for these APIs, and then the model. So this is the last structure will which will be there when you are going to create your project. So it is the structure which will be look like for your FastAPI development, and that's it. That's it. It is the implementation of FastAPI. In the next part, when we are going to implement it with our UI, at that time you will see this complete thing running, and in that running, that how our modification and how our APIs are behaving with respect to the UI. So be connected with me, and if you like this video, if you get any doubt, uh, first check the Git project which I will upload, and if you get any doubt, just let me know. If you like this video, if you like anything, just let me know in the comments. If you want me to modify something, I will definitely modify, and if you think I lack somewhere, just let me know. I will update that into my next video. So I will discuss that part first, and then I will continue for the remaining things. So this is it, and thank you.